Hey everybody, I'm Riley.
And this is Todd, and welcome to this episode of Barber Cuts. We're talking about Oasis, 1995 album, What's the Story? Morning Glory. So let's get right into it. Riley, least favorite songs?
All right, I I have to say I'm sorry to the people. Wonderwall is the worst song on this album. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know it's the most popular. That's mostly because it was made fun of. Um, it's it's just not a great song. I think I do have to also acknowledge the fact that I do think part of the reason I don't like it is because I find it so annoying from all of the like memes made about it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Um, so that one does kind of rub me the wrong
Yeah,
way.
but just to put some context into it, like it has over 2.7 billion streams,
Yeah.
the 84th most streamed song on Spotify as of when we're recording this. And it was the first song from the 1990s to reach 1 billion streams. And it did that in October of 2020. So, you know, there's a lot of people that go listen to that song.
Yes, but I think it's to make fun of it.
I don't
Well,
know.
because so you know the whole thing with Wonderwall, though, right?
Yes.
Where it's like the song that every guy who thinks he can
Play
like
guitar.
play guitar plays
Yep.
Wonderwall.
Let's play Wonderwall.
It's
Yes.
like the first song to learn on the guitar. So it
And
became like this annoying.
yeah, and I get that. And I think the things that I read, and when I read, I was like, you know what? That makes so much sense. And they were like, it's such a simple and relatable song that from the first time you listen to it, it just sounds familiar. Like I've heard this before, and you know how it's gonna go. And so maybe like that's part of what it is. It wasn't one of my least favorites, but I understand it where you're coming from.
Yeah. Um, my other least favorite got hard. I I didn't really have another like one that stood out to me. I would say the one that I kind of gravitated to was probably another big one for this album, was Morning Glory, the title song.
Yeah,
Um, I just like, okay, I really like this album and I really like Oasis, right? However, sometimes their oh god, their frogginess can really overpower the song. And with What's the Story Morning Glory, with all those O's in it, like it really comes out
yeah,
like that. I don't know how to word that other than froggy. That like
yeah,
just, you can feel like their vocal cords are tight. Like it just kind of hurts. Like, and they do that a lot. That's just how they sing.
yeah,
But usually you can kind of like okay it. In Morning Glory, it's everywhere.
yeah, yeah.
But I still liked that song and like loads more than Wonderwall. Um, so I guess that, but not really at the same time.
So one of my songs was "Roll with It." That was the song that actually I don't think it was the first single, but it was the one that was right before the album,
You
and
gotta roll with
yeah,
it.
and
You
launched
gotta.
this media frenzy with Blur, who you've heard us mention before, song two, woohoo, and the battle of Britpop. So it was this media frenzy of the two bands that were going after each other, or more of a media hype than really the bands. It wasn't bad, but to me, it got lost where it sat in the album order. Hello was first. I thought that was a really good opening song. And then roll with it. And then it was followed by two of the band's biggest hits, Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger. Both of them have over 1 billion streams. Like, so it just kind of got lost in there with knowing what was going. Nothing really against the song. It just got lost more than anything. My other song, I put it on here, and in my notes, like, I feel bad about this one because I could see how this one could be one of your favorites because
Oh
lyrically,
no.
I may put it as one of the best songs on the album, but musically, it didn't do much for me. Got lost, and it's Cast No Shadow.
Okay,
Um,
that was like you're safe.
okay, it's not on
That was
yours.
like third on a close level.
Yeah. So like I knew going into it, like lyrically, I want to give it its just due, and make sure like this is musically for me it got lost, but lyrically, it's a tribute to Richard Ashcroft from The Verb, acknowledging the genius that he had in writing music, but also the struggles he had with insecurity. So you see in there, it's about a hollow or a person that feels really hollow and invisible. Because there's a lyric that says, "As he faced the sun, he cast no shadow." And so, all that to say, the lyrics, I'm sure, resonate with everybody because at various points in our lives, we've had struggles, but many I know struggle with this daily. So this may be a song that hits home for them, and those feelings can be validated by a song like this. So I don't want to diminish the song and the lyrics of it, but for me, musically, it didn't do as much as what I wanted it to do to match those lyrics. So when I saw the lyrics, I was like, this one could be an argument, but or a disagreement, I should say, but. All right. Well, if it wasn't one of your favorites, did you want to add anything to it, lyrically from that?
No, I'll talk about it a little later.
Oh, okay. All
Don't
right.
fear.
Okay. So, favorite two songs, Riley? What's your favorite two?
My favorite two were, in fact, back to back, a
Uh-oh.
run, if you will. So we'll
Wonderwall
start
and
roll with it. Those are my two.
yeah.
No. We'll start with the first one. So,
All right.
as you mentioned, popular song on this album.
Yep.
It's just a good song. I don't know. Like, I think something that I want to talk about with specifically Oasis on these two songs. This was the first one.
Yeah. And just let it
Is
play because this was one of mine too. We can let it go in the background.
okay. Their cadence is so unique. Like, you have to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
The way they sing their words, the way they do their beat, the way they follow it all works. Not normal. Like, if that makes sense. Like, there's something so engaging about the way they time their words in a way I don't normally notice that, but it's
Yeah.
very apparent with Oasis.
Yeah.
So this song was like the most apparent where it comes that, but my favorite was the chorus with the, we'll let it play.
It's coming up. Yeah. So
It's
it's
such a good little, like the bum bum
Yeah.
bum 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 bum. It's so good. It's so good.
and the other thing that I found funny about it is that and you can turn it down because it's popping up and down for whatever reason when I talk, and I think that may come through. But the it's ironic though because lyrically it's very good about don't look back in anger. Ironically, the band ultimately broke up because the two brothers couldn't stand each other. So like that's pretty funny. And I think they've
Well, they
reconciled.
got back together.
Yeah, they got back together and
They
reconciled.
went on a
but-
tour.
yeah, but that was still funny. And I also saw that some people mentioned that the Sally of the song may be a nod to a song called Sally Cinnamon. which is from the Stone Roses. So we've done an episode on Stone Roses album. That song's not on it, but go listen to the Stone Roses. And Noel Gallagher is the songwriter. Liam Gallagher is the singer. But Noel credited that Sally Cinnamon song for really defining him. And he said after he heard the song for the first time, quote, "I knew what my destiny was." So a lot of people think that that song may have been the Sally. Some people say it was just another person. So and the other thing that I found interesting was he said he initially meant it as a song of defiance, but it's really taken on a life of its own after the terrorist attacks in Manchester in 2017 Ariana Grande concert. You can see footage of people singing that song, just as they come together, and I thought that was really neat, and he thought that was really neat too, that the song is, I think I saw a quote from him somewhere, and I'm paraphrasing, but that song has become bigger than him, which he recognizes that, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I did definitely take it more as like the defiant, especially with the lyric being like, she knows it's too late.
Right.
As we're walking on by. Like, it's almost like it's behind me. I'm good now. You can deal with whatever you need to deal with. It's too late for you. I read it as that, but I can see how people do take it. Like, I will say that is a beautiful song to use against a tragedy like that, of the don't look back in anger. Like, we're still here, we're good, we can get through this.
And really the last couple of lines as well, like if you just take it at the surface level of, like, that's a good motto to have, because I don't have them in front of me, but I think the last two lines are like, don't look back in anger, plays a little music, and then says, at least not today. And so if you can have that mindset every day, like, you're not going to look back in anger, and that's something good. This was 30 years ago, so that's a very good message for us still today in 2026. So
No, it is.
all right, so next favorite would be Hey Now.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Another just genius cadence. Like, unlike anything, the cadence gets stuck in my head. I did not even know that was, like, possible until this song. It's such a good, like, it's so engaging, and it's poppy. It's not exactly like happy or sad. Like, it's just poppy, and it kind of gets you going. And, like, it's so easy for the cadence to get stuck in your head, which is so weird and so unique. But the bum 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 bum, like, that's the cadence. That's not like, that's so. I really do love this song. And just the switch ups and changing. I just really like this song. There's not really much else dramatic for me to say about how this song did not show me what my destiny was, but it sure showed me a good time.
Yeah, I like that one too. So,
all right, what about you? We talked about one of yours.
I already mentioned one of them, Don't Look Back in Anger. The other one is the last song of the album. And can you hear that?
Yeah.
And it's a bit, it's different than most of the rest of the album. Got the dreamy waves, psychedelic beginning. And as we go building up to that first chorus, where he starts singing is nice. And I've seen him talk about this. There's the easy, got a reverb echo going on there as well. And and I've seen him talk about this song and say that it's that to him he doesn't really remember what the lyrics are about, that they're probably more nonsensical than anything. um, but I do like how it builds. There is a little bitty, I'll fast forward real quick here, a little bitty guitar solo there that's nice. But the part that really sold it for me is, it's on the album, it's a long song. They had a radio edit, but they, from 4:35, which is where this is, to about 5:57, so almost a minute and a half of the song, very well done guitar solo.
Yeah.
There's two guitars there going back and forth, so it's not a single guitar really showing off. It's a conversation really between two guitars that it's hard to pull and see which one is doing what. I can't remember his name, but the guest guitarist that came on, I think is a hero for them. So it was neat for them to be able to perform with that person. And then, this is the build up and the climax, and then after this, it trails back down and gets back to that. And so now it's slowing down, and the simple guitar riff, that how it started to how it just ends. It's just a nice song to end, for me, to really end the album on. So
Yeah, I thought it was a great
those are
end
my
song too.
favorite two: Don't Look Back in Anger
Um,
and Champagne Supernova.
with you talking about the guitar solos, I do want to acknowledge that this album is kind of a big deal for us in that there were two instrumental songs and they didn't end up on either of our least favorite lists. Usually that's like our go-to. It's like, it's an instrumental. How's it going to compare to the songs with lyrics? Like, womp
This is
womp.
this is true.
They were
Right.
really good.
Yeah, and I've got a note about one of them later, so stay
Okay.
tuned.
But I just want to acknowledge that's a big deal
Yeah,
for us,
yeah, I
especially
agree.
me.
I agree. Yeah, true, true.
Shows you how bad Wonderwall is.
Oh, mercy. All right. So two point what did I say, 2.7 billion people can't be wrong, or streams can't be wrong.
And if they're making fun
So
of it, it changes things though.
this is true. All right. So album notes. Why should people go and listen to this album, Riley?
Cause
Thoughts?
it's a cause it's a good one.
I
No, I mean, come on. Oasis, like everyone's heard Oasis, everyone's heard Wonderwall.
Yeah.
Like that's this band is not I would say this band is an interesting band in that it maintains being like a household name, but not in like your normal way where they're like legends, more in the way that they're kind of like goofy. Like it's just like
Yeah.
haha Oasis. It's just kind of the
Yeah.
way it goes.
I can see that.
I think especially
They get a lot of bad
listening
rap for Wonderwall,
yeah.
because
I
a
and
lot of these other songs and some of their other songs are really good.
well, I do have to say that one is another case of the song is beyond them now, but in a bad way. I'm sure they were not thinking whenever they
Yeah.
wrote it. Like, this will be a song that every guy will torture a girl with at some point in their lives and force them to listen to.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think that's their fault. I do think that they play into a lot of the jokes on themselves, though. And, like, I think they have, and that's what they're kind of known for, is being, like, a goofy, like, two band that at times takes themselves way too seriously, and that's funny, and at times does not take themselves seriously at all, and that's funny. I
Yeah.
mean, their reunion tour, they went out and said, like, their tickets were some of the most expensive tickets, like, really bad. Like, people were upset about it. And they were like, we're not coming back for nothing. Like, we're only coming back for this price. Like, we need the money. Like, they made, like, jokes
Yeah.
like that where people couldn't quite tell if they were jokes either.
Yeah.
So they do stuff like that where it's just kind of like we don't really know how to take this band. So it becomes like a very known band.
Right.
I think also, unfortunately, they can be a little bit made fun of or considered goofy, which I would say a lot of their lyrics are very impressive and do have something to say. But when you're comparing it to, like, okay, when did this album come out?
95.
95. You just came, or you're still in the midst from like the fallout, I guess, of the grunge movement, where their whole thing is like devastating lyrics that are meant to be very introspective and very deep and like thoughtful and
Yeah.
thinking back on yourself. And then like you're coming off of that, where that's what people are used to. And
Yeah.
Blur, in my opinion, they don't like, I mean, you can listen to a song too. Lyrics aren't always their thing. They don't really
Yeah.
care. Also listen like Story of a Charmless Man. Like I love Blur. Don't get me wrong. I love that album. I can't remember what that album is called. The one with that's blue. That has Story of a Charmless Man. But like their lyrics aren't anything special, but what they can really play into is that especially on songs like Song 2, they have a little bit more of that harsh sound, like that punk
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
And so they're like that bridge, whereas Oasis on this album really doesn't have that much. I would say, funnily enough, the big like musical callback I see that's not what they define here is Enroll with It, with like almost a 50s rock and roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they have that.
There were definitely several times in there where I picked up some Beatles
Yeah,
undertones of like, and that makes sense being a British pop-ish band. Like
right.
it's kind of hard to have a sound that it got some foundational Beatles element
Yeah.
to it.
I guess we can say, well, that's on. I was gonna say Oasis is more Beatles, and if we're keeping to the British thing, Blur is more Sex Pistols. Like
True.
in the comparison of like
Yeah.
where you can kind of. But I will say on their other albums, again, because I'm a fan of Blur, if we're exposing myself here, they sound a lot more like Oasis than they do Song 2. In the majority of their songs,
Sure.
like they're a
Sure.
lot more
Well,
like this album than
yeah, and that's why
what people know them for.
they were both in the charts with each other. So, that feud that was going, they both released a song at the same time. So their initial Blur's initial single in that first week sold better than Oasis's first single, but yet, Oasis ended up
Yeah.
winning that long-term battle. I think like this is one of the best UK selling albums of all time.
Yeah,
Like
and
it's
then Blur
way up
got them
there.
back by becoming gorillas.
So
And
it's
then ultimate
yeah.
comeback and screw you,
The
Oasis.
the album won best British album at the Brit Awards in '96. I guess Don't Look Back in Anger and Some Might Say both hit number one on the charts. Wonderwall hit number two on the charts and spent 30 consecutive weeks. Roll With It hit number two on the charts. Champagne, Supernova, and Wonderwall both reached number one on the alternative song chart. So, like, all those songs are good, popular
Yeah.
songs. And again, you going back to it, the two brothers were the identity of the band.
Yeah.
And they fueled the media attention with their feuds, and spats and different things and all that. And I think at one point in time, one of them said something about the other, and then the other one sued him, and then he apologized and he dropped the lawsuit. So like again, back to your point of just saying and doing things, like they fueled the media attention, and whether or not that was real, I don't, it seemed to be real enough, because they broke up and they did those things but they got back together. But um you know but that definitely helped them stay relevant.
Yeah. I think
So
also, other than it just being sounding good, I think whether or not you can put a finger on what it is, they do something different than what was heard before, if that makes sense. Like, there
yeah,
is something different. I think I credit it to the cadence, and I keep bringing that up, but that's so, like, that, you have to acknowledge, like, that's not normal
yeah. I mean, I
to have
it's
the cadence or, like, the wording of it be
yeah,
what's, like, engaging over the music or the lyrics itself at parts.
yeah.
Um,
It's
but I
definitely
don't know.
a lot of it's definitely catchy and gets stuck in your head. They're little
Yeah, but
earworms.
yeah, I think they just play around with like how they're saying things, like and the music, and I think this was just something new that people had heard like British music and Brit rock and stuff like that. But like Blur and Oasis are like the heavy, froggy, punky type sound without being punk. Like they're a mix of like 10,000 different genres. If you try to pick one genre out of it, it becomes impossible. There's like
Yeah,
everything known to man in this album. That it was just appealing. It was new.
yeah.
Even if it was a little bit to make fun of it. It was just new.
So, all right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right.
Good album.
So, yeah. So best beats and bars. So, Riley, what's your best lyric?
So we come back to Cast No Shadow. Bang. Bang. Bound with all the weight of all the words he tried to say, chained to all the places that he never wished to stay. And then it
Yeah.
goes on to say he cast no shadow.
Yeah.
That's the chorus to this song. Like that's not even a side lyric. That's like just what's being portrayed in this song. And I'll say Cast No Shadow didn't it was very good. It didn't get in my top 2 because it's essentially just the same thing said 3 times.
Yeah.
Very good thing said though, which is why it's getting credit here.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I felt bad saying it was my least favorite.
But I will give credit. It's very good lyrics, but it's just repeated 3 times. So it
Yeah.
loses its like when you have like a song like Don't Look Back in Anger where it's like a whole song exploring different things, it's harder to put this one up. But like that is such a visual depiction of that feeling of feeling so important. Like feeling so weighed down by not voicing your opinion, like being so held back by like just being forced to be where you're at and that's not where you want to be. Like that's such a good description of what it feels like sometimes to feel unimportant or invisible, where it's
Yeah.
just like I have so much to say, I have so many places to be, and I'm not going to be anywhere. I'm not going to be able to voice any of them. I'm just here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just think it
agree.
was such a visual depiction of that worked really well for me, and apparently for you too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't often, as we know, and recognize, pick up on lyrics, but this one I did, because, and I think that was partly because of the music, because the music wasn't, oftentimes we talk about like grunge or rock or some of those where the music can get heavy and overpowering than the lyrics, but this one the lyrics came through very crystal clear,
Yeah.
and I could tell they were good, but because the music was more subdued, more quiet, more like I didn't pick up on it as much, and so it just but again I can recognize that the lyrics were strong in that one.
Yeah.
So-
I also think it's interesting coming from like a big musician to
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah.
Like I think it shows a lot because like his job, so that he's writing this, his job is to get all his words that he has to say off his chest. That's his job. His
Yeah.
like literally their job is to go to all of these different places and see the world and perform
Right.
for them. And yet you can still have that feeling of like I'm never gonna be able to
Yeah.
say what I want to. I'm never going to be able to be where I want to be. And that's like a very human thing to hear from a big
Yeah.
band
That
like
feeling
that.
of invisibility.
Yeah. When you're
That nobody sees
one
you.
of the biggest bands,
Yeah.
it's
So,
just, it's a really cool thing to see. Sad, but cool thing to see.
yeah. All right. So my best beat is interesting this week. My best beat is actually the last three songs of the album.
Oh.
I'm not gonna play all of them. Obviously, that's like 13 minutes. But I'm gonna start with Morning Glory. And this one was close to one of my favorites, but it wasn't. But it starts with this chaos, this loud, sharp, almost a helicopter type of, and it starts off with this chaos. The it's driving
It
throughout it
reminds me of Pink Floyd.
with the rock. Like this was one of the more heavy rock songs
Yeah.
of the album. But I'm gonna skip to the end. Because according to Gallagher, this song was really about coming out of the, and so now you hear the guitar in the song kicking in, and the song was about coming out of a haze of cocaine use. And so that part kind of makes sense. But you get around 10 seconds left. The switches back to kind of the opening chaotic noise, and just now we switch to Swamp Song. You can't tell because it rolls straight into it. You probably know, but others may not. I just want to bring that up. Now you hear these peaceful waves, but yet that chaos comes back muted in the background, as if it's trying to fight its way through the waves. And this song is
Which I'm
only,
sorry.
yeah, this song is only 39 seconds long.
If if you hear this and you don't think swamp, you're wrong.
Yeah.
That's
And
swamp.
and so now Champagne Supernova started with the waves. This one was a popular one, so you know the waves. And you may have asked when you heard this on the radio, the waves are strange. Well, now you know why the waves are there. And it's so this slow melodic guitar, and so as I was listening to those and heard them go all the way through, I, especially when I saw what the lyrics were for Morning Glory, I was like, is this some type of little mini narrative, to end the album? I'm not sure. He never said anything, but there sure seems to be this arc of the intensity and excess that you hear in Morning Glory, this disorienting transition of the Swamp Song to this reflection and come down piece of Champagne Supernova. And so as I was sitting there thinking about all that, I was like, that is such a really good ending for an album. Those three songs put together, if in fact that's what it is, I don't know, but I kind of can see it there. And so I was like, I really like that. So that's my best beat. Go listen to those three songs, see what you think, and if
Yeah.
not, just listen to that transition again without us talking over it for the last few seconds of Morning Glory, the entirety of Swamp Song, and then the intro of Champagne Supernova. So,
Yeah, I am happy that Swamp Songs part one, well, part two, but part one
yeah,
is pretty much the
part
same
one was
thing.
good too.
Got it as acknowledgments.
Yeah,
I guess it's like harmonica almost that it sounds like the
yeah,
like to me it sounds like a little bit of harmonica.
yeah, it's,
And to me, that's swamp.
yeah, yeah,
That's
true.
swamp. But I do agree with you. I didn't like put my finger on that. There are a lot of like random points in the song that are like very disorienting, and then you're like, oh, we're back.
Yeah, yeah, I
We're
agree.
back. So I
All right.
think that's a good way of wording it.
Yeah. So ratings, Riley. What's your ratings?
Um, so objectively, I'm gonna say like a 9 out of 10. I think when you have a song that's so memeable, it can't be a 10 out of 10. I mean, it's a really good album. I think the
Yeah. Was that your
structure is really
objective?
well.
Was a nine?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Perfect.
But I think like both of us said, there are some songs that felt like they didn't fit where they were supposed to be. There's some parts that felt like a little out of place. And there were some parts where I was talking about just like the way they say things is nasally. Nasally is the word I've been looking for this whole time, and I get it at the end. Nasally. They get way too nasally, and I'm like, you could have done that again, and it
Yeah.
just made it slightly more like acceptable, like from an objective standpoint.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm giving it a 9.5.
All
I
right.
really liked this album.
There
Sue
you go.
me, make fun of me, I don't care. It wasn't a what like the album that I hold all things up to. It was not Arcade Fire in A World of Discovery. Like I didn't all of a sudden have a song that anytime it comes on, I scream like Crown of Love, in case you're
Yeah.
wondering. I like
Yeah.
scream about how we have to listen to it. Anytime I'm driving with someone, I have to shush them to listen to the song.
Yeah.
But it's still a really good album and one that I
Yeah.
really liked. It had the elements of the grunge and rock that I do like side of
Right.
things and musical side of that, while also being more chill and having a little bit more of like that vibe too. New bucket list item though, listen to Oasis on a beach. I feel like that would hit.
Okay. I
Oasis
can
on beach.
I can see that.
That's what I want.
Especially the beginning of Champagne Supernova. So it's like,
Yeah.
which waves are you
It kind of
hearing?
has an island vibe to it. I
Yeah.
don't know why it has an island vibe
I
to it
can
to
see
me,
that.
but it
I can see that.
does. So now I want to listen to Oasis on a beach.
There you go.
9.5.
Excellent. So my close to you, my objective rating was a 9.5. Again, personal rating 8.5. I just thought it was a good album. And I can make it through, like you said, Wonderwall. Like it doesn't bother me as much as it does you, just because I think that's a generational thing with the memes and whatnot. But it was very good to me.
Yeah.
So, song of the week, Riley. Which song of the week?
All right. My song of the week was gonna be something. I had so many different songs of the week because now it's like 2 weeks between filming
Song
or
of the 2 weeks.
sometimes more. So now it's like, oh, I have a lot of songs that keep coming up. I'll say honorable mention the entirety of the new Harry Styles album except for Aperture. Sorry. I played a little bit for you. He was just in
Yep.
town, so we played a little bit. Really good album, really strong album. However, yesterday, in the final parts of trying to figure out what song of the week will be,
You found your
this
song of the week.
song came on, and I realized that it couldn't be anything else. Forever by Noah Khan. I hadn't heard this song in a while. It doesn't normally come up on my playlist the way other Noah Khan songs come on. But brother, did it destroy me when it came out. It is such a good song. It was like the last addition to finish up Stick Season for him was this song, and he released it. And like the first part of it is like this slow, sad, like really somber type feeling to it. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And then he throws in this. A little woo. And you're like, oh, what's happening now? And all of a sudden it's a fun, happy song again. And it's like, when did this happen? You just like destroyed me. And now it's like this sweet little like, oh, funny memories between us. It's like, no, you can't do that to me. But just a beautiful song all throughout. The lyrics are beautiful. so fun. I really like this song. I'll say my favorite lyric in this song that always stands out to me is it's a happy song of like, I won't be alone for the rest of my life. Talking about how he'll find this girl someday, like he won't be alone. And the lyric that I love is, I broke a bone that never healed in my hand, so when I hold her close, I might loosen my grip, but I won't ever let her go. Which, like, listening to it at first, it's like, oh, that's just a beautiful symbol. Like, oh, you might back away, come closer at some points. Like, there's an ebb and flow to relationships, but you'll always be there. And in his little interview about the song, he's like, no, I actually did break a bone in my hand and never got it fixed. So, like, that actually, if I hold my hand in a certain way too long, it hurts. So I can't do that. Like, it was, like, such a, like, a real thing. Yeah. That was so funny. But a serious one is the lyric, when forever was a sentence to death. You were running tear, I was a drop of sweat, and the edges of your soul I haven't seen yet. Now I'm glad I get forever to see where you end. Is like, he was describing it in his interview as well, but it was like as he was growing up, the idea of having to live so much longer was like horrible to him. Right. He didn't want it. It was awful. It was a sentence to death. Like, it was like the worst thing he could imagine happening to him. And like, I think a lot of people can relate to that, of like, when you're in a weird teenage high school phase where it's like, yeah, so much is going to happen, but it's also like not going to happen for me. Like, it's a hard feeling to have. And then to have the moment where you meet someone or you find something and you're like, I'm so excited I get forever to spend with you, or forever to do this and be here, and all of that is such a cool thing to like write a song about. And it's such a good little message. Anyway, that's my favorite song. I listened to it like 10 times yesterday. Don't come for me.
So my song of the week is one of these things is not like the other. This will not fit in, but to your song of the week, to the album, but there's a story behind it. So Riley, and that's why it's the song of the week, because just a little insight. So Riley mentioned I was in town last week and in Knoxville for a conference, and you may have, I can't remember who I told the story to, but I did tell it to somebody. So I was sitting out in the hallway talking to some people, and while the conference was going on, and there's about 4 or 5 of us there, and there was a bench, somebody was standing, and I was literally sitting on the floor. We were doing something, and somebody mentioned going to Starbucks. And so in our family, see, Riley just said, in our family, that elicits a response. And so you have talked, Riley's laughing, for if we get the video working this time, you'll see this. So, and Riley, I think you've mentioned it on the podcast sometimes where we have things in our family that sometimes we'll say out loud and then it gets no response because it's a family thing. That's exactly what happened here. So somebody said they were going to Starbucks, and I said, don't need no Starbucks.
Obviously.
And they all just stared at me, and I'm like,
well,
okay,
they obviously did not have a little girl in the height
this is true
of a fandom.
So this is my song of the week that I will start playing for you, and many people will know it right from the beginning because they did too. So everybody there was like, huh, I know that song. And they were like, what does that mean? I was like, oh, okay, well, let me go to the lyrics so that I can play this for you.
She had me going crazy. Oh, I was starstruck. She woke me up.
Here we go.
Don't need no Starbucks.
So, don't need no Starbucks. So, when that song came out, Riley loved the song. So therefore, the family loved the song as well, along with her. Now, anytime somebody says Starbucks, I say most of the time I'm able to keep it internally, but this time I said it out loud and got strange looks. So in the middle of a conference, an IT conference, no doubt, where we all got our nerddom going on. I'm having to play Starbucks. I'm having to play Baby by
Look
Justin
in.
Bieber, which
They
is the
obviously did
song.
not have a little girl
Ludacris
during
is
the
the
height of Justin
is
Bieber.
the rapper, and so I'm blasting that from my little computer so that everybody can hear it in the middle of a
As you
conference.
should.
So
Yeah, I had that song on my like iPod mini, like the little
yeah,
clip-on thing.
yeah,
I had it on iTunes. I bought the music video, or
yeah,
y'all bought the music video for me on iTunes, and so I would just sit there watching the bowling music video.
yeah.
And you know what? I'll say it. Still a good song.
I still like if it comes on,
Stands up.
I'm
It
not
stands
changing the
up.
station.
Nope.
I agree, you know.
It's a good
So
song.
yeah, it's like I said, it doesn't fit with the rest of the album, doesn't fit with your song of
Yeah.
the week, but yet here we are. And
That's so
again, if it
funny.
came
It
on,
doesn't fit with any of your songs of the week ever.
no, no, it doesn't fit.
That's why I think it's so funny.
So you know, guilty pleasure songs. This would be one of them because I agree. If
Yep.
this comes on, I'm not changing it, and maybe that's some nostalgia in there as well. But you know, all right.
We'll
So
have to make sure
there we
it
go.
gets played at Brother Pod's wedding. That's
There we
that's
go.
our one request,
There we go. There we go.
baby.
We'll see if we can hit the DJ up several times. Hey man, I know you just played this, but one more time.
But like we need it.
All right.
Follow it up with Wonderwall.
Wonderwall. There you go. So, all right. So there's a song of the week. So go listen to that one. And now, may that be a family thing in all of your families. When somebody says Starbucks, you are now required to
Don't need no
answer.
Starbucks.
Don't need no Starbucks. And
Don't need it.
if you can learn the whole rap from Ludacris, that would be awesome as well. You know,
I know the part where
I
it's
know
like,
you used to be able to do it. You probably can't anymore.
give a beat when I
But
see her on the street, and
yeah, so
it's cool on the playground. But
all
I
right,
really want
here
to
we
see her
go.
in the weekend.
All right, Riley. This brings us to our next album. You mentioned last week we're hitting a patch of good ones. What
Yeah,
is our
a
next album?
generational run. Our next one is one that will make our family very happy, specifically Mama Pod.
Yeah,
This is about to be her favorite week listening to music with you in the house.
this is
This
true.
week is The Joshua Tree by U2. The
Yeah,
album that everyone was forced to listen to because it was just on your iTunes.
yeah.
Was it this album or was it a
No,
different U2
no,
album?
that wasn't that. That wasn't that one.
Okay. I know it was U2 though.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I was too young to really remember. I just remember it was U2. Anyway,
Yeah,
Joshua Tree.
yeah. Joshua
You
Tree
know this
was like
album.
Joshua Tree was like 94, maybe. I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
just
a
remember it being a U2 album. Anyway,
it's an older album.
U2
Oh,
is
87. So it's well before iTunes.
this is just confirming to me that Mama Pod's ideal music is late 80s.
Yeah, this is a good one. I like this one too.
She loves her 80s
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
So,
And it hit another generation because I don't know when it was, but With or Without You was a big moment in Friends, the TV show.
yeah.
So if you're a big fan of that, you know the scene that I'm talking about. But you know, so that introduced, you know, things like that, introduce it to a brand new set of fans,
And then
and it
the
keeps going. So
forced download to U2.
yeah, that was a way. I was way later.
I know, but I
So
knew the band name from
yeah,
that. Most
oh
people
yeah,
know the
true,
band.
true,
My age
yeah,
know the band really through that.
through that. And then you go in and you start listening to some of their stuff. And you're like, oh, okay, they're pretty good. All right. So you too, Joshua Tree, go give that a listen. Also go find us on the socials, Barba,
Arba?
Barber Cuts in the background there. Barber Cuts Pod, X, Instagram, YouTube. We're all over the place. The Beyonce when in on YouTube, having some difficulties trying to figure out how to get things to record with sound. So we're still working through that, but forgive us
If
on
anyone
that
has
one.
advice,
And
let us
so
know.
we are working through those. But in the meantime, I'm Todd.
I'm Riley, and this was another episode of Barber Cuts.